Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for April 24th, 2012. It is 8:17 a.m. and we're slightly below normal for this time of year. Temperatures ranging from the mid 30s over Messina and portions of the Hudson River Valley to the mid to upper 40s along the southern New Jersey coast. We have winds from the west southwest and from the southwest ranging anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour. Once again, associated with the upper level low that is spinning well to the north of the region. And for this afternoon, we can expect temperatures rebounding into the upper 50s to lower 60s with a threat for an isolated shower here or there. Welcome to the weather pattern for the rest of the week. This is pretty much going to be the same type of weather pattern carbon copied each and every day, with the exception of Thursday. Let's take a look at the forecast. Here we have the surface map again. Here's our upper level low and our surface low reflection. Pressure's down to 985 millibars, which is pretty impressive for an area low pressure this time of year. Now, this low pressure system actually produced, aside from the 1 to 4 inches of rain over the northern mid-Atlantic, up to 2 feet of snow over western New York. Talk about winter not wanting to give up. Now, this upper level low will continue to slowly drift northward, and in the meantime will produce scattered showers that will pick up in intensity as they move over the Great Lakes, called lake enhancement precipitation, and will attempt to move through portions of eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey and peter out as they move into Connecticut. So the further east you are, the better chance you have of remaining dry because you're further away from the low pressure system. However, if you're in northeastern Pennsylvania or northwestern New Jersey, you have a better potential of seeing a few isolated to widely scattered showers, possibly even a snow flurry in the morning. When we take a look at the the water vapor satellite picture, you can clearly see the development of this upper level low. It's pretty impressive. You can see strong lifting associated right over portions of southeastern Canada, back through Ontario, and then you have some moisture lingering over portions of the northern mid-Atlantic. And then you get these little weak disturbances like this one right here that will clip through the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area, producing an isolated shower here or there. Now what's interesting is that there's a lot of cold air aloft here, and so you have some of the scattered cloud cover sitting over portions of the northern mid-Atlantic, and you create small pockets of what's called instability because the lower levels of the atmosphere where you and I live start to warm up, let's say into the lower 60s, and you have temperatures aloft in the 20s and teens. That creates significant instability. In other words, air is rising rapidly in the atmosphere, and that at times produces a few isolated to widely scattered showers, and in some very rare cases with the right conditions with the disturbance moving through, could produce a very rare isolated thunderstorm that could even produce some even more rare hail. So it's something to keep an eye on, but it's not a widespread threat or even an isolated threat. It's an extremely rare threat that you'll have to keep an eye on as you move on through this week as its upper level low spins about and slowly exits out into the Canadian Maritimes. So let's take a look at the model guidance using the European model guidance once again. It's been on a roll, handling the storms very well. And of course, we're using the Penn State eWall website, an excellent website source for model data. So here we are this evening again. Our upper level low is sitting over basically the Ontario-Quebec border over here, and it will continue to spin disturbances through the region. Now notice, as I was discussing, we have cold air aloft sitting over the northern mid-Atlantic. Now look what happens throughout the week. The upper level low starts to shift and basically migrates around southeastern Canada, meaning that cold air aloft is going to be swinging on and off through the northern mid-Atlantic. But the good news is that at the surface, we're going to start to develop a more of a southwesterly wind, and that's going to allow temperatures to continue to moderate through the week in the 60s, at times pushing into the lower 70s. So it's not going to be a horrible week. It's just going to be a bit unsettled. You know, you're going to have some sun, some clouds, and every so often an isolated to widely scattered shower. Again, the same thing continues on through the week into the weekend as our upper level low slowly starts to exit out into the Atlantic. Going to continue to be under the threat of these disturbances and weak cold fronts moving through. Some days it gets very warm into the upper 60s to lower 70s, like on Thursday, Other days are back down more towards normal in the lower to mid 60s with an isolated shot of showers, and that continues on through this upcoming weekend with basically the same type of weather pattern. Now, there is going to be a shift. Now, once this upper level low exits out into the northern Atlantic, you'll see a ridge starting to take hold and a bit of more of a zonal pattern taking shape over the United States. And what that basically means is that all your cold air is going to be locked back up in Canada. Mild conditions are going to dominate much of the United States as a Pacific air mass. And you can see that with the upper level winds here, basically moving from west to east. So any air mass that's sitting over the Pacific is going to move over the Rockies, moderate significantly because that air is sinking off the Rockies, and then shifts towards the east coast with a nice southwesterly wind. So we will be warming up. Temperatures will return to above normal levels, and a tranquil pattern will gradually take shape as we move on through this upcoming weekend and into next week. That is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. As always, thank you very much for trusting the NYNJPA weather. Have an excellent day. Stay safe out there.